welcome back to GTAAP.
We are playing another game of Tetris. You may remember a while ago we played Tetris Sphere, which I enjoyed and Cass hated.
Yeah, I got my ass kicked, so I'm trying to redeem myself here.
So we're going to try and play one that we both can enjoy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait, I already have a name on this one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember us ever playing this together.
Oh, we played it a lot.
Really?
After, like, role-playing and stuff? Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't remember that. Huh. Well, shit.
Alright. So this is the new Tetris released for the N64. There was also a counterpart called the Next Tetris that released for the PlayStation. They're basically the same game.
Yeah, they usually have a lot of that stuff where they release like one for one system and one for the other. Alright. Now, as we were saying before when we were playing Tetris Sphere, you were a huge Tetris fan.
Yeah, I mean, I often say that the Game Boy was my first system. So I played a lot of Tetris.
Already falling apart.
That's good.
See, I remember Tetris. My mother used to be really into Tetris. It'd be like one of those things I'd come home and it'd be... Or I'd wake up and it'd be like 5 in the morning and she'd be like 2 inches away from the screen.
Just watching it the whole time?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
I have a feeling I'm about to get some garbage. I don't know. You throwing garbage on?
Yeah, it'll be coming.
I got a red tinge. Oh, it comes up from the bottom. It doesn't just drop. That's even worse.
Alright, so I guess we're not going to be providing a lot of interesting commentary during this.
This is a little serious this time around. We're
playing for real, not for,
how do you switch your thing?
The shoulder button.
There we go. And I mess it up, of course. Yep. That's kind of my...
MO?
Yeah, well, for this game especially. For some reason, anytime you and I play this together, I just cannot seem to get my mojo going.
That's understandable.
Not really, no.
I am intimidating.
No, that's not it.
I feel bad. So one of the things that's unique about this version of Tetris is, for a lot of this is kind of where Tetris, in my opinion, and maybe it's just because this is the one I played at the time, but this is kind of where all the pieces of Tetris fell together. This has ghosted pieces down at the bottom, so you don't really ever have to look up. It has the hold, which kind of became a quintessential part of the game. But this one has one unique thing, which I'm gonna see... Yeah, I should be able to actually make one right here. If I didn't miss that piece, but it's okay. There we go. So if you mold blocks together out of the same Tetris pieces, a 4x4 block, you'll get these bonus blocks, which will give you more points when you clear a line with them. This one's gold because I made it out of all the exact same piece, in this case 4 squares. You could also do it with multiple pieces from different Tetraminos, and that would have given me a silver one.
You were trying to explain this to me earlier, and I wasn't really following it as well.
Yeah, so it's just when you build a block, it becomes... I don't know if you can glance over my screen for just a second. You can see...
Yeah, I saw what you were doing there. Sorry,
block.
I'm building the...
And when I do that, it's better clears, and I think it actually will dump more garbage on you. You're welcome.
I didn't mean to do that. No big deal. No big deal. We got this.
The other thing about this game is it had a whole world feel, like we're playing on the Egyptian stage right now.
Yeah, I was actually just about to comment on the music that we're listening to here.
Yeah, there's one for each like major culture, ending with 20th century Russia is the last culture you unlock. So I think it goes this, and then it goes the Greeks, and then I think oh, I don't remember. Maybe Cambodia. Like, it's just a couple of like ancient cultures that go around.
All right, it's interesting.
Yeah. And I can't remember. I think this might have been the first Tetris that was by the Elrog holding company that holds Tetris, now known as the Tetris Company.
Oh.
So like where it was completely owned by them and they were licensing it out rather than what had happened up to that point was like Nintendo had gotten their out, then they tried to sub-license it to Atari, which led to the Tengen cartridge of Tetris that was the quote-unquote illegal copy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
one of the rarer.
Maybe the Tengen stuff was the legal copies, wasn't it?
Yeah, because Tengen was an in-brand of Atari, and it came to blows. Because especially the sad thing is Tengen Tetris was better than the Nintendo release for at least for the NES, because you could do a lot of good things like multiplayer, which the original Tetris for the NES did not have.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. It's kind of like almost a quintessential version of this now is multiplayer.
Oh yeah, I mean, my favorite version is Tetris DS. Oops, I messed that up.
I just realized the mistake I made. I am not wearing my gunner glasses. And my eyes feel like they're about to burn out of my skull.
It's because you're staring at a screen. A hot screen. It's any consolation. I've made like 3 mistakes in a row that are going to cost me dearly.
Yeah, I'm playing very simple Tetris over here. I mean, I'm not going for anything fancy other than some 4-line segments, and that's it. I'm trying to redeem myself after the last
that garbage is
outing
going
of
to be
Tetris.
fun to deal with. Yeah, I screwed up.
Woo! Oh, we're gonna take a second here and let Kaz put his glasses on.
All right. So, yeah, I love Tetris DS. That's my favorite one because of all the really clever twists on the formula, especially the fact they're tied to all the different Zelda games.
Yeah, aren't they tied
Zelda and Yoshi Cookie,
Metroid and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Metroid's probably the most interesting one.
I do recall that.
It's like a vertical shooter version of Tetris.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that game. It's a pretty hard game to find now, too, isn't it?
Yeah, because they can only publish it for a while, because then they lost the licensing for Tetris.
Oh, you put out a lot more lines than I did.
You win! Does it have the... No, it's not going to show that. So every line you clear goes towards an overall score, where you're building up all these monuments, which allow you to get to the next... from one culture to another.
Okay.
I hear that. And
that's kind of...
I think you're in control, so AA.
And that's... Nah, I just did it.
There you
go. So that's kind of like the progression through this game.
Yeah, the progression, but I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I played this game a lot, and I played it a lot with my friends, and I still think I'm only like unlocked 1/3 or half of the cultures.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it required a commitment that is just totally unrealistic.
But you shouldn't be playing any of the other game but Tetris, am I right?
You have a point there. I often say that Tetris is my favorite game because there is no other game I could say I've put as much time into, like even remotely. Metal Gear being my next favorite game, which usually is how more that comes in conversation is. So what's your favorite game? Well, Metal Gear is my second favorite game. What's your first one? Well, Tetris. Duh. Isn't that everyone's favorite game? Always, forever?
I mean, I do own a cell phone, so yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad I got the original Tetris for that, because I think it's called Tetris Blast is the main one. EA has a lot of the license tied up now.
Yeah, that's the one that EA has. That's one I've played.
Oh, that would have been perfect to build one of those Mega Blocks with. Oh well. Silly.
Which is weird. It's weird that this
oh, there's a silver block.
That this license has been passed around the way it has been.
Oh yeah, so say Ubisoft had it for a while. They made oh, there's another version of 3D Tetris. Was when they made Tetris Axis for the 3DS.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Where you played it like it was like on a column, but it was a column that existed out in AR. You had to use like the 3DS camera.
Oh.
Yeah, it was kludgy in kind of an amazing way.
It sounds messy, yeah.
You gotta give him credit for being inventive, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I do.
Okay. Jerk. Well, I'm gonna give him credit.
Good job, Ubisoft.
Go Ubisoft. Hope Steep works out for you.
Oh, Steep. And since we are just playing Tetris, I mean, what do you think? I mean, we did a lot of stuff for E3 here. Steep, what do you think?
So Steep's one of those games of like, I'm hoping the people that find it really enjoy it. I kind of look at it like my obsession with Mirror's Edge. Like, Mirror's Edge, Catalyst did not get very good review scores, and that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, the gaming press didn't really get it the first time around. I'm not surprised they didn't get it the second time around. And I don't mean get it as in, I think it's just something that has limited appeal. It's not a game for everybody, you know?
Okay.
I think Steep's going to be the exact same way. I don't think Steep is a mass audience style of game. And I think it's okay to be that. But I think the weird part was just that Ubisoft anchored their press conference with it.
Yeah, that was the thing.
That didn't seem to make much sense.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I just didn't think that they're strict. That's not the game that I would have imagined that you're gonna come out and be like, this is what we're hanging our hat on.
Right. So yeah, I think it's fine. I don't know, it seems like it's an interesting twist on what I'm assuming the marketing that came up with it, which is how do we capitalize on like the Minecraft phenomenon? How do we create a game that's built around user-generated content? Because that game is all built around, you with your friends build these runs.
Yeah, I the way I was putting it was it's a game for the GoPro generation.
I think that's reasonable.
Just because, like, there's not really, like you said, you're putting together these runs, but there's not really, like, so much of a racing aspect to it, or, like, or like a discovery aspect to it, or anything like that. I just had a lot of trouble, like, figuring out who the game was for, was my main thing I was having trouble with.
I think that's reasonable. Yeah, because like you said, I don't think that there's no audience for it. I just think that audience is not...
Minimal at best?
No. Well, niche. I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to go like, oh man, I loved SSX Tricky, and I want to pretend that this game is that game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know, but like SSX Tricky had a very stylized thing to it, the way they put that game together, with the rock and roll and the over-the-topness to it and everything like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you. I don't know who, quote-unquote, the game is for, but, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad game. I've played plenty of indie games that are, like, for me and, like, maybe 4 other people total. So, I mean... I love adventure games, and so, like, the Double Fine Adventure was for me, and I really never cared what the review scores were, because it wasn't going to be a game that was going to review well. It's an adventure game in 2015. Of course it's not going to do all that well.
Games like that, though, have made a resurgence quite a bit nowadays.
Have they? Yeah, whatever Telltale now calls an adventure game has been popular. But I wouldn't necessarily call that an adventure game.
You don't consider those adventure games?
Huh?
Why don't you consider those adventure games?
Well, no, I guess they're adventure games in the sense of that's what we call that genre now. But quick time events and stuff like that, I just... That's not what... Adventure games were never about skill. They were all about thinking your way through the problem, even if that thinking was extremely abstract and odd.
See, I don't consider a quick time event to be a skill-based thing, though.
As someone who could never beat God of War because of the dexterity required for the quick time events, I definitely consider them games of skill.
Okay.
No, I mean, the first time I played God of War, I had... I probably spent 15 to 20 minutes more than I needed to on the Hydra because it kept not dying because I couldn't I couldn't switch gears from fighting it to doing the quick time event to kill it.
Okay.
I was just terrible at them. I think the only one I ever got good at of that nature was like the button pressing for the torture scene in Metal Gear. And that's only because I played that game so flipping much.
Hey, but it's worked. Look at that.
That's interesting. I think it's funny, you can see in the distribution of pieces, like the fact that this is built around those blocks I mentioned earlier. So like, oh, that's weird, they sent me 5 lines in a row.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
So I still play like old school Tetris where I'm like trying to save that line for the big drop later.
I don't think that's unreasonable. You just gotta know when it's valuable there and when it's not.
To the point now where I have to slow down everything I'm doing. Otherwise I'm gonna make a really bad mistake.
You mentioned, I don't remember the limits of this one. I don't know if it has infinite T-spin and stuff like that. So, infinite T-spin is the Tetramino. In many versions of the game, you can spin it atop of a pile, and because of its geometry, it will never get stuck until you let go. So at the highest levels, you can kind of cheat the game to give yourself time to think about where the piece needs to go.
Starting to fall apart over here.
You caught up in lines.
Yeah,
I was double you for a while there.
Now that the speed's catching up, though, I'm having trouble.
I believe in you.
No, you don't.
I could believe in you, I guess.
I don't even believe that at all.
If it's any consolation, speed's catching up with me, too. Especially as the parts are a little floaty on how they lock. Just throw me off.
Yeah, I think you got me here. I'm falling apart. Yeah. Yeah, I fell apart over here.
That was fun.
I feel like I've redeemed myself somewhat here.
You know that
After
guy.
the last Tetris debacle, I'm going to call it.
Now, if you feel bad, we could just go watch some Japanese players of Tetris and just realize that we have absolutely no skill at this game whatsoever. Those guys are sorcerers. Like and subscribe!
Come back soon. Oh, Tetris.